Don't act like you forgot.
Hello babes, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. So in today's video I will be talking about the black models of the 90s. So let's get into it. Models in the 90s were who we would look to for fashion and what they were wearing next. They weren't just models, but they were major influencers and celebrities. They wore the clothes on the runway, the clothes didn't wear them. They were full of personality, charm, and captivated their audience, something that the supermodels of today lack. So many people know who the beautiful, legendary Naomi Campbell is and Tyra Banks, but there are so many black models who were around at the time and modeling for some of the biggest fashion houses. Beverly Crawford was a beautiful high fashion model in the 90s who began modeling in 1987 at the age of 12 and would land her first magazine cover of Mademoiselle in 1989. Beverly has appeared in major ad campaigns like Ralph Lauren, Donna Karan, which was huge in the 90s, Versace, Christian Dior, and many others. Beverly has modeled and did runway work for fashion houses like Chanel, Chloe, Tommy Hilfiger, Givenchy, Yves Saint Laurent, and many more. Beverly has also appeared on 250 magazine covers like Vogue, Elle, 17 magazine, and Cosmopolitan. She also appeared in TV shows like Sister Sister and Girlfriends, as well as appearing in Jodeci's Freaking You video and George Michael's Terry Mugler style Too Funky video, starring alongside supermodels Nadia Araman, Tyra Banks, Linda Evangelista, and Rosie De Palma. Beverly was and still is beautiful. She continues to work here and there as a model, but is solely focused on her family. She had one of the top walks to me on the runway, and I definitely believe that she deserves her flowers as much as the other models in the industry. But as you know, when it comes to the modeling industry or any industry, there is always this unnecessary fight or competition amongst black women. Although a bit problematic and controversial now, Tyra has broken records and paved the way for a lot of black models. Tyra Banks was one of the top supermodels in the 90s, beginning her career at 15, and was the first black woman to be featured on the covers of GQ and Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Tyra was a Victoria's Secret angel from 1997 to 2005. In Tyra's first runway season, she booked 25 shows in the 1991 Paris Fashion Week. She has appeared in editorials for American, French, and Spanish Vogue. Tyra has booked in shows for Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, Christian Dior, Givenchy, Marc Jacobs, Fendi, Valentino, Isaac Mizrahi, and many more. Tyra had a seductive yet playful, flirtatious walk that stood out on the runway. She also had one of the best bodies to me on the runway, especially seeing as most of the models were really thin, and Tyra was the complete opposite, and the industry most certainly ostracized her for it. But she was a figure for younger women who weren't as thin to look to for how to dress and style their curvy figures, especially in the 90s. And I'll be doing a video on Tyra Banks as well as Naomi because they are two iconic black women who killed and dominated the runways in the fashion scene as well as the modeling game in the 90s. Next up is the beautiful Veronica Webb. Veronica Webb pursued a modeling career in New York and eventually became a spokesperson for Revlon, becoming the first black supermodel to win an exclusive contract for a major cosmetics company. She walked the runway of major fashion houses like Chanel, Dior, Yves Saint Laurent, Azzedine Alaïa, Isaac Mizrahi, Fendi, Versace, and the list goes on and on. She was also listed in Vogue 3 times as best dressed. Throughout the 90s, Veronica wrote essays and columns for Interview Magazine, Paper Magazine, New York City Style Guide to Downtown Cool, Spin, Details, and The Source magazine. In 1985, Veronica was featured in her first runway show in Milan, Italy, where she worked with Comme des Garçons, which I hope I am pronouncing correctly. My French is horrible, but let's move along. In 1991, she became the face of Isaac Mizrahi and signed to NH Beanstalk. Veronica has served as a member of the Fashion Institute of Technology's Couture Council and was a founding member of 25 Black Women in Beauty. She has also been a Google Digital Entrepreneur Ambassador, editor-at-large for Google Accelerate. Alev was discovered in 1995 at an outdoor market in Crystal Palace, London, by a Models One scout. Alev had this beautiful, rich complexion, high cheekbones, and a beautifully unique look that a lot of young dark-skinned girls could identify with. Although Naomi was a dark-skinned model who was at the forefront, A lot of young black girls identified with Alev being from North Africa and seeing themselves in this model being from where they're from, having their same complexion and seeing the beauty within themselves through Alev being on the magazines and being celebrated. Alev appeared in the music video for Golden Eye by Tina Turner in 1995. The same year she was signed, and shortly after began fashion model. She was signed to 4 Models in 1996 and also made an appearance in Janet Jackson's Got Till It's Gone music video that year. She was named Model of the Year in 1997 by MTV and was the first African model to appear on the cover of Elle that year. Alev has worked for Jean Paul Gaultier, Chanel, Ralph Lauren, Alexander McQueen, Marc Jacobs, and more. She still does runway shows and print work from time to time and is such an iconic figure in the modeling world. Alev is also the second highest paid female model in Africa, as she should be. She is the epitome of grace, beauty, and class. Last but certainly not least, Naomi Campbell. Naomi ran the modeling world in the 90s and was one of the top 5 supermodels. Naomi began her career at the young age of 15 and has not slowed down since. She is one of the most recognizable and in-demand models for the past 4 decades. Naomi was one of the 6 models of her generation to be declared a supermodel by the fashion industry and international press. Naomi had and still has one of the best walks to have walked the runway. She has this seductive yet fierce, serious, sassy, just sexy walk that I just have yet to see anyone possess. Naomi dominated the runway and made everyone pay attention as soon as she stepped foot on it. She has walked for Versace, whom she was close friends with, almost every single 90s Chanel runway, Fendi, Dior, Valentino, Givenchy, Chloe, and if I were to list all of the names that she walked for, I would be here for days, because that is how iconic and legendary Miss Naomi Campbell is. When you hear supermodel, she's the first face to pop into your mind. Well, I know my mind at least. And I'm not going to get into too much detail about Naomi's career and her modeling career in this video because, as I've stated before, she will be getting a separate video on just her. And that is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be making a part 2 to the black models and supermodels in the industry in the 90s as well as the 2000s. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And let me know below who are some of your favorite black supermodels and 90s models, as well as some current models. And I will catch you guys in the next video.